Welcome to Above Par. I'm your host, Kathy Hartwood. I show you how to take more of your talent to the golf course without practicing harder, taking more lessons, or buying new equipment. I show you how to end the frustration of underperforming so you can start playing to your potential. This is where you are going to learn how to think above par so you can play below par. Let's get to it. Oh, my golf friend, welcome back to Think Above Par. I am so happy that you are here and listening, and maybe you're listening on the way to the golf course as I get some emails from folks who tell me that I am riding shotgun with them on the way to the golf course to get them ready. And I want to thank Judd Starr for listening and reaching out to me and sending me an email. I get other emails and I will share them with you all when I get a chance about how you've had some successes through not only the podcast, my content, the membership, and my courses, and whether you've attended a workshop, but I love hearing about all of them. So thank you so much, and thank you, Judd, for listening. Okay, so today I wanted to talk about that space that we have between shots, right? It's that time after you hit a shot and before you hit the next shot. There's a space in there, right? There's a mental space in there. There's time between shots. I mean, unless you topped it, it's right in front of you, right? It's like the worst, like it's your turn again, you're still out, right? Let's just assume that some other people have to hit and you have a little space in between shots, right? What are you doing with your brain? Have you thought about that? Like, how do you occupy it? Are you intentional? Do you just let it go where it wants to go? And that's what I want to talk about today, is because that's such a beautiful time to be super intentional about what you're doing with your brain. And I really haven't specifically touched on this topic, and I want to do that today. Okay, so I think there's 5 things, seems like a lot, that your brain could possibly do in between shots. And I want you to just listen to them and see if any of them resonate with you. You're like, oh my gosh, that's what I do. And let's decide if it's useful for you or not. Right? That's always the point, is like you witnessing what your brain is doing and deciding if it's beneficial. Is it useful? Because you're the person who gets to command your brain on things to do in between shots, for sure, over shots, right? We just get to witness our brain. Okay, so let's just assume you've hit a poor shot. You do not like it. It's an unfortunate shot. It didn't go where you wanted, it didn't bounce where you wanted. It was just ugly. It might be out of play, all the things. It's not a beautiful shot that's right next to the pin. Right? We're not talking about that one. Okay, so this is one of the 5 things that I think you could do. The first thing you could do is get really analytical about your swing. What did I do there? Did I come over the top? Did I do that old move? Why did the ball go in that direction? And you start tweaking your swing. Right now, you start thinking about your swing on the way to the shot or the result, and start deciding on what you're going to change for the next shot. What this does is this creates so much doubt in yourself, because what you're saying is, I don't know what's going on in my swing. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. There's a lot of doubt that you create. You're questioning and not trusting your swing. I call this chasing squirrels, where we have a tendency to try the next swing. Let me try this swing. Let me try swing 102. Let me try swing 79. Let me try swing 742, right? We go through this Rolodex of swing thoughts and swing moves to see which one works. I just want to really reassure you, if that's the right word in this, is that is not a useful tactic, because you don't even know if swing 742 was the reason why you made decent contact, because you can't see yourself. All you can do is feel it. And usually our feelings that we have are not accurate anyway. But chasing squirrels just creates a lot of doubt. And doubt is not a place that you want to swing from, because we can be really tentative and we can steer it, we can guide it. Right? You start second guessing everything. Okay, so are you that person who starts analyzing their swing? That's how you're going to spend your time in your brain between shots after you mishit a shot, is trying to figure out what you did wrong and what you're going to change on the next swing. Okay, the second thing we can do is start freaking out about where the ball went. Like, is it out of bounds? Is it in the water? Do I have a shot? What's that lie? I wonder if I have a lie in the rough. Is it sitting up? Is it sitting down? We start asking ourselves a bunch of questions that we can't actually answer yet. And so we freak ourselves out. If you ask yourself a bad question, you're going to get a bad answer. You're going to create worry and anxiety. So are you spending that time between shots after you hit it until you find your ball, freaking your brain out? Because when you arrive, whether your ball's in play or not, whether you have a shot or not, whether it's sitting up or down, you have a good lie, all those things, you can't control them anyway. It is given. It is so, right? It's going to be what it's going to be. but you're going to get to that shot and have gotten yourself all worked up. Right now you're in a place of anxiety and nervousness, and you need to settle yourself back down before you swing, because we don't want to swing from that place. My advice would be never get yourself there in the first place. It's surrendering in that moment. It's going to be what it's going to be. I can hope. Right? If you're sitting there saying, oh my gosh, I hope I have a shot. Oh my gosh, I hope I have a good lie. Oh my gosh, I hope I'm not screwed and I don't have a tree in my way. I hope I can take a backswing. All of that hoping, asking for hope, creates anxiety. So that you do not have to go into that shot and get yourself calmed back down, slow yourself back down so that you can swing from calm, certain, or confident. I suggest if that's something that you have a tendency to do, just surrender. There's nothing you can do about it now. It's going to be what it's going to be. I can handle it, whatever it is, when I get there. I don't need to work myself up on the way there. The third thing that we can do is we can start beating the crap out of ourselves. I can't believe I did that. I did it again. What's wrong with me? I always hit it over there. I'm an idiot. I suck. I'm going to ruin my score. Right? We start beating ourselves up. And I'm going to include in there you worrying about what other people were thinking. Like, oh my gosh, that's embarrassing. I wonder what they're thinking about me. They think I suck. Because what you think they're thinking is just you beating yourself up because you're already thinking it. Right? Because at that moment, what you're doing is you're tapping into your confidence. Whatever confidence you had, you're beating yourself up. Right? That's one of those things that you would never say to your best friend after they hit that shot. Right? See, if you were caddying, could you imagine, like picture this, you're caddying for your best friend and they hit a shot like that's offline and goes into the trees. And you're like, God, you're an idiot. Like, why did you do that? Like, I can't believe you do that. You do that all the time. You do that every single time. You suck. Everybody thinks you're an idiot. Would you ever do that? No, but we do it to ourselves. That person would probably not be your best friend for very long if you did that. So after a bad shot, are you letting your brain go into the shitter and start beating yourself up? You're just letting it go where it goes until it runs out, until you walk into the ball. You're just going to take the punches from yourself until you get up to the golf ball and it's time to hit? No, you want to be very deliberate. You want to not do that on purpose. Right? That's about you deciding, I'm not going to beat myself up. It is what it is. It's not useful for me to poke holes into my confidence. You have to be very intentional. You have to witness your brain. Say, I see what my brain's doing right here. I'm not going to beat myself up. That's a habit, by the way, that you get to break. If that's something that you do over and over again, you've just let your brain go off and beat the crap out of you because for some reason we think it's useful or that we deserve it. It's not. If you can tell me the upside in it, I want you to send me an email, please. Okay, and the fourth thing that we can do in between shots after we've hit a shot that we do not like the result is we can start over-analyzing our next play. So in other words, let's say you have 5 minutes to walk up to the golf ball before your shot. You're already analyzing what you're going to do. All right, what am I going to do? I'm going to hit a sand wedge. I'm going to land on the front of the green. No, I'm not going to land on the front of the green. I'm going to roll it to the back. No, I don't know if I need to roll it to the back. I wonder if there's a lot of break in that. I'm going to have to figure out what the break is. I wonder what my lie is. Well, that's going to determine a lot. You're doing all this analyzing of this shot and you're freaking yourself out, right? You're creating a lot of stress. You're taxing your brain and using what I call mental poker chips. You're wasting them. Right? You're going to become mentally exhausted by the end of the round if you're analyzing every single shot before you get up there. And some of us have brains that love to do that a little bit more than others. If you're an analyzing type of person, you love to do it. You're going to start doing it right away. And it seems useful because you're trying to get ahead of the shot, but it can be mentally taxing. And it can produce a lot of stress and worry and anxiety over the shot. You're giving your brain an opportunity to just freak yourself out because you're making it a big deal because you're analyzing it so early. So one of the things that you can do in that situation is just make a deal with your brain. How much time do you need to figure out a shot? Like when you set up to the tee box, when you finish a green, when you putt out and you walk up to the next tee box, it's like time to go. If the tee's open, right? It's time to go. You don't have to start thinking about it, but while you're walking off of the green, right? You stand over the shot, you look, you find your target, go through your routine and hit it. So how much time do you need? So make a deal with your brain. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm not going to analyze this. I'm only going to stress myself out. I can figure it out. I'll take a view when I walk up to the green and I'll take in all the information. I just need a minute or two. I'll get it done. Give your brain something else to do. And this is my point. The fifth thing that you could possibly do is give your brain an intention in between shots that's going to serve you, that is going to keep you calm and confident and certain over the next shot. You could talk with your playing partners if you like them. Right? Don't talk about anything controversial, by the way. Don't talk politics. Don't talk club drama. Don't gossip. Don't talk about things that don't feel good. Don't talk about the course conditions that you're upset with the superintendent because of the way that he's taking care of the golf course. Those are going to rile you up. You're Switzerland. You talk about things that are benign. Look at nature. You look at the grass. You find something for your brain to do. I have a couple clients who have had conversations with their caddies on things to talk about between shots. These are the topics that I like to discuss in between shots. It's useful for me. It's something for my brain to think about, so it doesn't have to start thinking about the next shot that I have or thinking about your score, which is actually something else I could add in there that our brain likes to do, start adding up the score. So they had a deliberate conversation and a list of topics on things that they like to talk about that keep them in a relatively calm place, that occupies their brain, that they're interested in. So that's something to consider. While you might not have a caddy all the time, but there's some things that you might want to think about. There's things that you might want to discuss with the people in your group. You might want to hum and you like that. I have other people who, if they're in your group, might throat punch you if you're humming. It drives them crazy. But whatever it is that works for you, have some things to do with your brain in between shots when you don't hit the greatest shot and don't have the greatest result. So I want you to go out the next time you play and witness, what do you do in between shots? Do you overanalyze your swing? Do you overanalyze the lie that you might have, guessing where the ball is or what it's going to do? Do you beat the crap out of yourself? Do you start focusing on scores? Or do you start analyzing your next shot already from the tee box or from the fairway? You're already trying to figure out what you're going to hit when you get up onto the green. And do they work for you? Like, is it beneficial? You're like, yeah, I like doing it. It's helpful. It feels good. Or are you taxing your brain out and stressing yourself out and creating doubt and anxiety? All right, my friends, I want you to be intentional about the space in between shots and find some things that you actually like to do so you have a job. So you're not scrambling trying to figure out, all right, I want to not think about the next shot. I want to not think about my score, but I don't know what to think about. Have those ready ahead of time. Write them down if you need to. Put them on a scorecard, extra scorecard in your bag so that you can look at them as a reminder. But be intentional about what your brain does. All right, friends, if you want to dive a little bit deeper, make sure you stay in contact with me at kathyhartwood.com. Join, and you'll be on top of all my latest programs. All right, have a beautiful week, and I'll talk to you next Wednesday. Bye.